Sports Podcast, episode number 226. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali, and it's Tom Brady, Bill Belichick week. Huge week. This is the game that everybody's been waiting for since they announced who the Patriots' opponents were going to be last year.
Well, not even
Tom
that.
Brady.
Since he signed with the Bucs, we all knew they were coming here this year. Like
That's what I'm saying. Once we knew that the Bucs were on the schedule, but week 4, like this feels early.
No, you know why they did it? It's prime time week 4 because in like 4 weeks the Patriots are going to be irrelevant.
We'll see, and we're not going to talk about last week's game because this is going to be a pretty quick show. But I don't really know how much we have to talk about last week's games because it was just shit. It was just bad.
It was just bad.
The offensive line looks horrible.
Yeah, they got to figure that out. Can we get Scar out of retirement? Can we do that again?
Every time Scar leaves, they fall apart.
I don't know what's going on. Did Scar like not teach the secret sauce to anybody else in the building? Like what's going on?
Apparently not. The right side without Trent
awful.
Brown is awful.
He's supposed to play this weekend though, right? That's the thing.
I think so. He's supposed to play this week.
Thank God.
But even so, Isaiah Wynn, who's supposed to be a stud left tackle, I was a big fan of that.
Well, he was good last year.
Like he was good last year when he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
In this year, it looks like a different guy.
Yep, 100%. It's awful. It's not good. Not good.
No, it's not good, especially with a rookie quarterback. And that was the thing. When you had a rookie quarterback coming in, you were like, okay, well, this isn't that bad because you have a good offensive line that's going to be protecting him.
Which will be a good running game. So, like, overall, that's why everyone's like, oh, they'll get at least 10 wins because we thought the offensive line was a key component to everything else. God, last week, man. Anyone that's trying to say, well, Cam would have been better or Mac Jones was not the fault you lost that game. Everybody else was the reason why you lost that game.
Right. And Cam is not going to be who said 3-0? Was that Shannon Sharp?
Shannon Sharp, and then just every other Twitter troll possible that was on Cam's side. Like, oh, well, Cam Newton wouldn't have thrown it this many interceptions. Like, no, he might have, but he probably wouldn't even come close to the people that he's throwing it to. So what would have happened? He would have thrown it like 20 yards in front of the receivers.
We just have to put that to bed. Cam wasn't a good quarterback.
Mac Jones is your quarterback. Cam Newton sucks. That's it.
Yeah. And Mac is 3 games in. He's 3 games in. I just want to remind people, and like we don't know what Mac's going to turn out to be, and we've talked about that 1,000 times now. Peyton Manning sucked year 1. He was horrible in his rookie season.
I don't know the numbers, but he wasn't good.
He was terrible. I don't know if he all I know is he threw a ton of interceptions, a ton of them. Yep. He was not a good quarterback his rookie year. And that doesn't mean that Mac's not going to get better. And honestly, through the first 2 games, Mac looked pretty good. In week 3, I'm going to blame it. I'm going to chalk it up to a lot of pressure. One of those interceptions, not even his fault. I mean, you want to talk about Jonnu Smith? You signed that guy to a pretty big contract. He was the prize. He was the prize tight end free agent other than Hunter Henry. And when Jonnu Smith 1A, 1B, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, boom, boom, right there. And Jonnu Smith can't catch a football.
Well, when we signed both of them, it was, they're your best weapon. Like, your receivers are great, and you don't need top guys because you have those tight ends. Your top receiver is Jacoby Myers, and I trust him a hell of a lot more than I do those other tight ends. I trust Kendrick Bourne looked good last week, bright spot. I trust Nelson Aguilar a lot more than I do these tight ends, and that's not what we were saying coming into the year, and that's not how this team was going to be successful. If the receivers are actually your top weapons, this team isn't going anywhere because those tight ends need to be what they're supposed to be.
Yes, you need them to be. That's the thing. That's the whole thing with this tight end situation. If they don't turn out to be the tight ends that you thought they were going to be, you're not going to be a good football team.
No, everything you did in the offseason, this offense-wise, like you built this team assuming those tight ends were going to be good, and they haven't been. I mean, it's 3 weeks. I'll give them some time, but like Jonnu Smith, man, you got to catch that ball, the interception that he was by himself. It was a good throw. Even if it was a little off, that's a ball you catch for the money you're making.
I don't know what he was doing with his feet.
I don't know what his
feet were all over the place on that play. All over the place.
Awful. Not Mac Jones' fault.
No. And by the way, we're going to talk about the Red Sox next week because, frankly, what they're doing right now is pathetic. The way that they lost, they needed to win a game this weekend. Just one.
Just one.
Just a single game.
Just one.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't checked. I know they were at least once. 2 times in that series, they were leading in the 8th inning, right?
Yeah, they were.
2 times.
Well, and you went into that series. What the starting pitchers that weekend? It was you had Pavetta go that weekend, you had Evaldi go that weekend, and didn't Sale go that weekend?
You had no, because Sale started with the Orioles.
Oh, it was Erod. Erod pitched that weekend.
Yeah.
That's
Nathan Evaldi got his ass kicked,
which never happens against the Yankees. He's a Yankee killer. And they looked good the other night, though. I know it was Baltimore, but
yeah, he did. And that's the thing. And that's what I wanted to tell people before. Like, people are all jacked up over like, oh, hey, the Red Sox beat the Orioles and they beat the Mets. You beat the Orioles and you beat the Mets.
I mean, to be fair, you should have beat the Yankees.
You should have beat the Yankees, but you beat the Orioles and you beat the Mets. That's not exactly a measuring stick.
I know we're not talking Red Sox tonight, but like, if we come back next week and they're either not in the wild card game or they're not hosting it, I still think that's a massive fail. Like, you have all these games left against. You have the Orioles and the Nationals. The Blue Jays just beat the Yankees. As of right tonight, you're only a game out of the Yankees for that top spot still after losing all three of them. There's no reason why you shouldn't win every other game the rest of the way and still host that wild card game.
I honestly think, because we've seen Red Sox ownership do this 1,000 times. They try to penny pinch and then they spend big. If they miss the playoffs this year, I think they're going to spend big over the offseason.
Yeah. I think they're going to go Heim. Here you go. Go ahead.
Heim, throw out that Tampa Bay mindset. Be Andrew Friedman. Be your guy.
Yeah.
Over in LA.
Lay it out all on the table, if you know what I mean. And
let it go.
And let it go. Bring it out. Let's do it. Either way, even if they do make the playoffs, they need to do that. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. No question about it. They need to add bullpen arms. They have to. Because if you don't add bullpen arms, like that's like, I like the starting pitching for the most part. I do. But it's the bullpen that just like once your starter is out of the game, and plus the offense too, they look like they don't care. They really do. They look like they just don't care. But
football.
We're going to talk about that next week. Guys, before we move on, we got to talk about our friends over at MANSCAPED. Our friends, our pals, they've been with us for a long time. They are the OGs. Guys, fantasy football is here. Lamar Jackson is fast, but you know who's faster? Your girl running out of the bedroom when she sees that man turf growing around your end zone. Keep that field trimmed with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming just launched with the new Performance Package 4.0. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20. This will help tame that Tyreek Hill cheetah you have in your pants, which, by the way, I did just trade for Tyreek Hill in my fantasy football league. Talked about this 1,000 times, guys. When I was younger, I thought you used scissors. Ended up being a terrible idea. Clip something you do not want to clip, and that will not happen with the Manscaped Performance Package with the #1 razor in men's grooming. If you groom below the waist, the Performance Package 4.0 is an essential purchase. And good news for our international listeners, their life-changing products are now available in Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside their Performance Package 4.0, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag. First pick of this year's fantasy draft is the new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This star trimmer is here to guide you on a season for the ages to trim your body, balls, and even your A-gap. This 4th-generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock and even is waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 4000K LED spotlight, which allows you to be as accurate as Bill Belichick with a challenge flag. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. Watch it split through the nose and ear hairs like Young Hoku splits wickets. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. The nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those sensitive holes. Ugh. Don't forget to use the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver to help your little bench warmers be on their A game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off with free shipping. Use the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping using the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. We don't know who you're picking as a flex this season, but we do know you'll be flexing in your southern region with Manscaped. Your footballs will thank you.
You know who I'm not picking as a flex?
Who?
James White.
James White.
Ugh.
R.I.P., man.
R.I.P. to James White's hip.
Tough loss.
He was looking like he did when Brady was here. He was looking like his old self. It was back to that offense, and he was looking like who I picked him up in fantasy. I was running him in the flex.
Yeah, he was on my fantasy team too.
He was killing it, and now he's done for the year, and all Damian Harris, baby.
Speaking of fantasy, I am 0-3 currently in 2 leagues.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah, I'm having a tough go of it. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this coming weekend, this Sunday night football, 8:20 p.m. kickoff. And
what's happening? What's happening at 8:20?
Tom Brady's coming back to Gillette Stadium.
Who are they playing? Do we know?
The New England Patriots. And now
it's a meaningless game, right?
We can talk about the games all you want, but we got to talk about the drama going on too. So Seth Wickersham, we knew this book was coming. This.
Wasn't the backstory of this book? Wasn't it supposed to drop next week?
So yeah, it is dropping
initially.
It is dropping next week.
Well, I know, but people have their hands on it already.
Media members do because they give it out first for media.
But that was supposed to happen next week initially. Like I think they pushed it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean this was always like the most obvious plan of the book. Like, of course this was going to come. So the book is called "It's Better to Be Feared." It's Better to Be Feared. Is there a subtitle? I don't know, but It's Better to Be Feared. It's Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, New England Patriots dynasty, and there's some interesting tidbits in there. And one thing that you sent me that we have to talk about is this whole idea, this whole rumor that when Tom decided to go to Tampa Bay, Bill basically said, "Hey, pal, don't talk to me. Get out. See you later. Talk to you never." Bill refuted that. Bill said, no, that's not the case. Bill said, no, that is not the case. Tom today, though, on the other hand, said, well, we didn't meet face to face, but we did say goodbye. It was handled perfectly. Something along those lines. So
you know what happened was, and this is something I didn't even realize this till today. I forgot that him and Robert Kraft, Brady lived on the same street, like not that far away. So Brady basically
I didn't even know that. I never knew that.
So that I forgot about that. So basically, by the accounts of everybody internally, like Belichick and Brady, what happened was Brady drove to Kraft's house later on a weeknight, knocked on old Crafty's door and said, "Hey, I love you, bud, but it's over. I'm not coming back." And then it was so late, didn't drive all the way to Belichick's house because they don't live that close together. Him and Kraft called Belichick together. No, this is what was being told what happened. This is what Brady said what happened.
Did he say that today?
Whenever he talked, today or yesterday, whatever it was.
That was today,
yeah. And he said that we called him together and I talked to him on the phone. But with Kraft.
Okay, well, look at that. Look at that. Hey, listen, I like the juice that Seth Wickersham has put together with these stories, and he was even doing this at the end of the dynasty too. He was putting out stories, information that made it seem like the relationship was toxic, and frankly, I think it was. Frankly, I do think that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady ended up not liking each other near the end, which is totally fine. That's what happens. They were together for 20 years.
I was gonna say, what happened is after they won like the Seattle Super Bowl, and like Brady started doing more like off the field stuff and didn't just focus on the football anymore. Belichick was like, well, what's happening here? Like, you're not my guy anymore. I want to say this, like for the 20 years that he was here, thank everybody that he was here for 20 years and it lasted the way it did. Because now that we're hearing all this stuff and there's obviously truth to a lot of it, like count our blessings that we had him for 20 years. We won 6 Super Bowls and they made it work for so long, because most situations, this doesn't work for more than 5 years and they don't win the other 3 Super Bowls. So I think I know he's winning in Tampa. They won the Super Bowl. He's coming back and they're going to blow the doors off the Patriots. But like, I think we all should be thankful that we had Brady for 20 years.
Yes, absolutely. And like, of course, would you prefer that he was still here? Yeah, duh. But it's obviously not the case, and we're just going to have to live with it. We're going to have to deal with it. We might have the next franchise guy here.
The one thing I was curious about, and I saw this, Belichick said this yesterday, I think, and I was curious what you thought. When someone asked him about, like, Tom Brady leaving and were you mad, all this stuff, he's like, no, like, I think it worked out for everybody. He was like, he said out loud, we obviously weren't the right fit for him, and we weren't the best option for Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah.
In that situation. Are you shocked that he said that out loud?
No. Listen, you look at that roster, and
awful.
the salary cap was terrible. They had a horrible situation there. He says that I remember that quote from last year. He basically said, "You got an ad going? Is that me? I got a CBS ad in my ear right now."
Nah, I got nothing.
Which freaked the hell out of me.
CBS, watching everything.
I thought websites weren't supposed to do that anymore. CBS. I thought websites weren't supposed to just automatically play videos like anymore. CBS. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Bill knew the salary cap sucked. Bill knew that this team didn't have enough options for Tom Brady, especially at the age that he's at. So, of course, when you're Tom Brady, and Bill knows this, when you look at a team like Tampa Bay that's got Chris Godwin, that's got Mike Evans, and here's the thing. Are you trying to tell me that Tom didn't talk to Gronk before he signed there? When he was thinking about it, you don't think they called Gronk and was like, "Hey, say I go to Tampa Bay.
Would you come?
Would you try to fit your way there?"
Hey, Robbie, do you want to come catch some tutties in Tampa Bay?
Right. You don't think he called Gronk and asked?
Of course he did.
Of course.
Probably called Edelman. Hey, can you get down here? Can we figure it out?
Yeah, Edelman was like, "I'm stuck in a contract right now. So no, I can't do that."
No, I can't come down, Tom.
He probably tried to get James White too. But like, again, can you blame him? No, he won a Super Bowl immediately after. But here's a question I have. Do you think that, because are we going to talk about the aspects of the game, like the actual the X's and O's? No, because what's there to talk about?
If you lose by 10 points or less, it's a win.
Yeah, frankly, I think the Patriots are going to get their asses kicked. Of
course they are.
I hope I'm wrong.
You know what the only way to win that game is? And I heard, and this isn't like an original thought, like 5 wide, let Mac throw the ball a ton. That's it. Shotgun.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. And they're not going to do it. And they're not going to do it. And they won't do it. I guarantee it. They won't.
No. It's going to be a nice drop the middle.
Drop the middle, get tacked for third, and then punt it back to Brady every single time. They're going to lose by like 3 touchdowns.
The classic Josh McDaniels. 3rd and 11.
Let's run the ball.
Why go for it?
Run the ball.
Or run this thing right up the middle.
Punt it away. Field position
right
game with the greatest quarterback of all time. Love it. Good choice.
I'm going to put this right 3rd and 11. Let's get to 3rd and 8 and punt this ball.
Punt the ball. A couple extra yards for the MVP punter. Let's do that.
Dude, sometimes he kills me. Sometimes Josh McDaniels plays 2-down football.
See, like in some cases, I like McDaniels, and then some cases, I'm like, no. Can we just get rid of him, please?
I'm so conflicted on if I want him to take over for Bill when Bill's done. I'm so conflicted on that.
I don't because it's just the way he calls plays. I don't know when Bill Belichick's going to retire, but I'm all for finding some young coach somewhere, let him come work with Mac, and just call it a day. That
seems to be the new wave. I mean, look at Sean McVay of Kingsbury.
Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury, what's Kyle Shanahan? Not young, but like good younger.
He's young enough. The Chargers. Who's the Chargers' new head coach?
I know.
I'm blanking on him.
I am blanking too. I know.
But I mean, like the Chargers. By the way, shout out to me, lock of the week, baby. Chargers beating the Chiefs. Did I call that or did I call that? I had a good feeling. Did I know it was coming? You could call me prophet, perhaps. Incredible pick by me.
That one might have been a little lucky, but it's fine.
No way. No, I knew that was coming.
We both hit our locks, though. I'll give us that.
We both hit them. We absolutely both hit them. But anyway, back to this game. So I do think that the Patriots are going to get their asses beat this weekend. I do. I think they're going to get whooped. But
I'm going to look.
If there's anybody, the line recently was only like 7.5. In which, by the way, go bet the game on MyBookie, our friends over at MyBookie.ag.
I see the spread at 6.5.
6.5, so it went down.
Yeah, I'm shocked
which
by that.
Which means people are hammering the Bucs.
Oh, the Bucs, yeah.
That means they're hammering the Bucs.
Yeah.
For this thing to drop already, and we're still 3 days out,
God,
people are slamming the Bucs.
All I got to do, 6.5. That should be easy money, right?
For the Bucs?
The Bucs 6.5.
So hear me out. This is my one thing that can kind of talk me into the Patriots potentially putting up a game, if not winning this game. Dan Lifshitz, I believe, from 98.5 The Sports Hub, I believe that he actually is calling for the Patriots to win based on like betting numbers, betting patterns. He's calling for the Patriots to win this thing outright.
I mean, if they do, I'll take it. God bless him if he's right. But I don't see it.
Now the worst thing that could have happened for the Patriots is Tom Brady losing last week's game.
Oh, him! You see him sitting on the sideline last week, and there was already side by side with him and Mac Jones doing the same thing. And like, stop comparing him to Brady. Stop. But like, you look at that death stare that Brady was giving, and he was mad. And how many times did we see that in a Patriot uniform over the course of the last 20 years, Nick?
Oh yeah,
so much. And then you know how many times he came out afterwards and had and just smoked people because how pissed off he was. Hey, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Like, this is insane. He's coming in motivated. Whoever has him in fantasy, myself included, make sure he's playing. Make sure all of his receivers are in your lineups because, guys, he is pissed and he's also motivated. Even if they won, he was going to come in and light it up. But now he lost last week. How often does Brady lose 2 games in a row, Nick? Ever?
It's the worst thing that could have happened to this team. If
worst. They won last week, I would have been a lot more confident that they might have had a chance. Brady just lost last week to a team, mind you, that is going to be for seeding. We know the Rams are good now again, right? Because they got Stafford. Look, that game pissed Brady off last week. Early potential seeding game. He's coming in hungry. He's coming in pissed.
And he's already coming into Gillette Stadium for his return. He was already motivated enough.
Oh yeah, and all this whole time he's already been like, "Well, I'm not treating it as a reminiscing trip. It's a business trip. I'm going up there to take care of business." Like, I just really hope. What happens in like 3-4 years, maybe 30 years, whenever he retires. I hope that he does retire a Patriot. I hope he signs that 1-day contract. I hope they get that done, because despite all the relationship crap that has happened, I hope he understands the meaningfulness of retiring under a Patriot contract.
He still loves Robert Kraft, so I wouldn't be shocked if that happens now. But listen here. Listen to this question, pal.
For me or for the audience? Who are you asking this question to?
To you. To the audience. Now, I'm sure, I don't know if you actually heard Tom Brady today.
A little bit.
What happens if he doesn't play? Because that man sounds sick.
That voice. I heard enough to answer your question. He's going to play. They're just going to happen to misplace his COVID tests. They're just going to, there's no way this guy does not play this game.
He might have COVID.
Of course he does. He sounds just like he did. When was this? In the spring, maybe January, and he had COVID back then. He probably has COVID, but they're not going to tell you that. They're going to throw away his tests, and it's not going to happen.
This is a money game for the NFL.
They are not letting him put in COVID protocols. Look at Antonio Brown. He's out of COVID protocols. He's coming back to Gillette. Gronkowski was on the injury list today. Of course, he's going to play.
Now, hear me out here, okay? Did I just screw up? Yeah, I might have. Because I don't know what you just said in the past 10 seconds because I opened up my iPhone and my phone was like, oh, so I'm supposed to connect to your AirPods now.
The worst thing about AirPods. The worst thing. It just switches to you automatically.
Let me get back over here.
Hold on.
Just keep doing your thing. Question for you that you can talk about while I reconnect.
Come on back.
Does Gronk play?
Well, that's what I was saying because you can't hear me. I don't know
if you saw the hit. You probably saw the hit.
Yeah.
Gronk got hit harder than I think I've ever seen him get hit, aside from maybe the Jaguars game, the AFC Championship.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not sure if you're there yet. But I was just saying this because you couldn't hear me. But the fact that he was on the injury list today and didn't talk to the media like he was supposed to, that is what gets me going, right? If someone doesn't talk to the media, I still don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Okay. If someone doesn't talk to the media, that's typically a good sign they're not going to play.
But does
Rob Gronkowski not play this game? Like, does he really not play this game? He retired because he didn't want to be a Patriot. He was sick of the Patriot way. And then he just happened to come back the next year to go play with Tom again, even though Tom was still in New England the year before. He hated the Patriots that much at the end. You don't think he wants to come and score 3, 4, 5 tutties on the Patriots defense?
Imagine if Gronk and Tom both missed this game.
They won't. Yeah, come on. You know they're not
the NFL would implode.
They're going to hide injury reports. They're not going to report injuries. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to make sure they both are on the field.
Somehow Tom would get suspended. Somehow Goodell would suspend Tom.
Think about how much
this is the voice.
Yeah, that was loud today. So I don't know. I've had a few of these days. I don't know what the deal is. So I got to try to figure this out. I said my throat's better than my arm.
He doesn't sound good. He doesn't sound good.
Drink some tea. Tom, green tea. Green tea.
We know he's vaccinated. We know the entire team is vaccinated. They were the first 100% vaccinated team.
There's no way they don't play this game. You said, look about the money grab this game is going to be. Monday night, the Sunday countdown, like Monday night, like ESPN crew is going to be there at Gillette with their set all day Sunday. Like ESPN is doing their Sunday morning pregame show from Gillette in front of the Hall of Fame, Patriot Hall of Fame. Every other, this is a big game. This is a big deal. Brady's not going to miss it. I don't care what illness he's dealing with. I don't care what they have to do. They're going to hide COVID tests. They're going to hide Brady. They're doing everything they possibly can to make sure he does not miss this game.
They have to. If they don't, they are screwed. This
you know
is.
You know what I heard earlier, though? I was listening to Felger Maz earlier. I went and got an afternoon coffee. And I heard them talking about how you win this game. The best thing they could have said out loud was like, just mess with them. Like, get JJ, get Dorito Dink or Dorito Fingers, whatever you call them, from the footballs, and just leave them on the side. Like, have them looking down at Tom. Ask the refs to go check the PSIs in the football. Or like have them go check. So, hey, Tom, Bill wanted me to check your cleats just to make sure everything's good. Or, oh, hey, Tom, someone mentioned the balls were a little light, so I got to check the PSIs. Like, how hilarious would that be if that happened? Like, obviously it's not going to
electric.
Like mess with his mind, do whatever you can, just do whatever you can to get in his ear, like spook him as much as you possibly can, and it still won't matter. They'll win. But
now we're obviously going to talk about this much more as we get into this next week post show. Score prediction.
God, it's a lot higher because the Bucs lost. I'll tell you that. It's going to be like 41-10 Bucs.
Mine is 45, 45-10.
It's 41-10. You're going to get a touchdown, probably garbage time, because I hope the Patriots spread them out. I just let Mac throw it like 60 times and see what happens.
Let him throw it. Even you got Richard Sherman coming back now for his first game, if he plays. His first game in how long?
Is he playing this weekend? Is he actually playing?
He's eligible, I believe.
Oh, I thought they said they were going to give him a couple weeks. If he plays, he's my God.
They might give him a couple weeks, but he's eligible. I know that.
Antonio Brown's playing. But yeah, no, 41-10. And there's no spoiler what my block of the week is going to be.
So we're going to talk about lock of the week presented by our friends over at MyBookie. Guys, if you're going to be placing any bets this weekend, which you should, you go over to MyBookie. Guys, Tom Brady returns to New England for the biggest game of the year, and stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're backing the Bucs or the Patriots this Sunday, the game is always more exciting when I've got money on it at MyBookie. Get in on the action and take this game to a whole new level at MyBookie. Both teams are sporting top defenses, and nobody knows each other better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race. Smart money bets the under. Don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet on the biggest game of the season. Use promo code COUCH and double your first deposit. Again, that's promo code COUCH, COUCH, to double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Which, by the way, that is the only thing that convinces me that the Patriots could potentially win this game, is because Bill Belichick knows Tom Brady more than Tom Brady knows Bill Belichick. More than Tom Brady knows Tom Brady. Bill Belichick knows the weaknesses of this guy, and we'll see if he tries to exploit them like he does to every other superstar in this league. All right. MyBookie, the lock of the week. Who you got?
Buccaneers minus 6.5. Come on now. They're going to win 41-10, Nick. Lock it in.
I don't want to do it.
I'm doing it right now.
Dude, Yahoo fantasy football app will not stop telling me that my entire roster is questionable. I know, dude. My team stinks.
I picked up the Minnesota kicker. Side note, I picked him up in like 2 leagues, and I got, no, he's questionable. I'm like, wait, what?
I've got Nick Folk.
Oh, God bless you.
Hey, the most deadly accurate kicker in the league. I can't miss.
He'll be replaced by Quinn in a few weeks. No, right. You can't not make it. But minus 6.5 bucks. Come on now.
My lock is not that.
I know, because I already picked it.
No. This is my lock anyway, because these guys stink. Carson Wentz can't stop hurting himself. Carson Wentz and the Colts are 0-3. I thought this was going to be a good football team. They're not a good football team, and their offensive line. Yeah, their offensive line is taking shots. At this point, I don't even know if Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I don't know if he can survive. I don't know if he can play and not get hurt. He sprained both of his ankles 2 weeks ago. How do you do that? He sprained both ankles. All right.
Bad.
I'm taking the Miami Dolphins -2 over the Colts.
I like it.
Miami Dolphins -2. I think the Colts go to 0-4. And this Hard Knocks midseason documentary that they're going to be dropping, they might not like it. They might not like picking the Colts.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
I think the Colts go to 0-4 this weekend.
These head coaches, the head coaches and all the coaches at the Colts are going to be like talking about tanking, and it's all going to get picked up on mics, and I can't wait.
It's gonna. They can't. They're going to have to act like, oh no, we're trying still. We're trying.
Do we lose on purpose, guys? Oh, whoa. Oh, your mic. Oh shit, you're mic'd up. Oh, my bad.
At this point, it would be smart for them to tank and get a quarterback because you don't have a long-term play quarterback.
Dude, can I just tell you how much Andrew Luck porked those guys? Like,
he did.
I know it was for good reasons.
But
I don't want to blame him. Mental health stuff, like, but still, they had their guy, and he was a good quarterback, and he was winning some games, and he's like, yeah,
no, dude, they porked him first by not giving him anybody on the offensive line.
I mean, that's true. His injuries did not help his mental health to stay on the field.
No, he was getting the shit kicked out of him because he didn't have anybody to block for him.
He was. That's very true. That's very true. You know what I wish they did? Let's get Phillip Rivers off the sideline of high school coaching and get him back in the NFL.
Yeah, because he was electric with the Colts. All right. Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 226, the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick episode as we head into this Sunday. Guys, Nick Quaglia and Jared Scali, check out every single podcast on Couch Guys Sports.
All of them.
Every single one. We've got fantasy football out there, baby. We got fantasy baseball. We've got wrestling.
Into the Triangle? Into the Triangle?
We've got the Red Sox podcast.
That might be a funeral next week, by the way. Just saying. Yeah. But I got blamed.
Yeah, that
might be. We're not recording till next week. It might be a funeral.
Dude, we've got soccer. We've got everything. We've got soccer, football, baseball, fantasy football, fantasy baseball, WWE. Guys, we got it all. Go check it out, CouchGuysSports.com in the podcast tab menu. Nick Paul and Jared Scali, guys, we're going to talk to you next week. Go check out our friends over at MyBookie and MANSCAPED. We will talk to you then, guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.